Shedding light on life's little curiosities now, BBC One has all the answers. Rising to the challenge on BBC2 in half an hour, Swansea do battle with Pembroke College, Oxford. A sizzling new series for BBC2 now as we sample the culinary delights of Ken Hom's Hot Wok.
Welcome to my new series on wok cooking. I'm going to be cooking for people all over Britain and in California, but especially for you.
Wok cooking is quick, healthy, and fun. Anyone can do it. In 6 weeks' time, you'll be an expert. I'll be showing you all kinds of fish, seafood, and vegetarian dishes. Everything from beef curry and spicy chips to soups, even puddings. How spicy do you like it?
Reasonably.
Reasonably, okay.
We've got water, haven't we?
This week I'll be showing actress June Whitfield how to make spicy fish curry. At home in my garden, I have something very special.
Stir-fried beef with peppers and fragrant lemongrass.
I'll be making a vegetarian egg fried rice for some hungry nurses in Nottingham.
They've been waiting at the door.
That's right. But first, let's take a short trip from my home in Berkeley, California, across the bay to the streets of San Francisco. Cab driver Rick Vega knows every restaurant in San Francisco. Like most cab drivers, he loves his food, as you could tell. And if you ask him, he'll give you the lowdown on just about every eating place in town. Today, I plan to cook for Rick and his buddy, Charles Beauvais.
My preference for food's changed about 10, 15 years ago. I bought my first wok, and I've got 3 of them now. My pride is I can put out dinner for 6 in 35 minutes.
I kind of fancy myself an Italian kind of chef, you know, Chef Boy Oh Boy there,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just a little garlic and the basil and, you know. The great thing about living in San Francisco is you can have Mexican food for breakfast, you can have Asian food for lunch, and Italian food for dinner, and then go home and have a Russian nosh.
Well, let's go. I'll make you something really nice.
Okay, we're gonna eat now, huh? All right.
Okay. Come on, guys.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to make you a very interesting stir-fried fish with black bean sauce. It's really fast and quick and easy since we don't have a lot of time here,
Yes, no, we
and you
don't.
guys are really busy. If you could hand me that fish over there,
Okay.
Charles. Okay, that's terrific. And this is halibut. Do you like halibut,
Oh, I love
Charles? This is a really nice firm fish because to stir-fry you need something really quite firm, and I've sprinkled a little bit of salt on it before, just to sort of marinate and to bring out flavor. So I'm going to ask you both to assist me, because if you guys want to eat, oh, look at that.
Oh,
That's
we've got to work
sizzling.
for our meal.
Yes, you got to work for your meal.
Oh,
If
come
you can. Okay, we're just going to brown that a little bit. Just keep your wok very hot. That's
Yeah.
really important, because if it's not hot enough, what will happen is it starts getting cold, and then you need more oil. Don't worry about these little bits sticking, because that'll give it a lot of flavor in a few minutes. Now, what we're going to do is just move everything to the side like this.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to put in some black beans. You know what black beans are?
Yeah, they go good with clams.
Exactly. They're fermented black beans, and the Chinese use them a lot. We're just going to put a few of the chopped ones in there. There's garlic. You guys like garlic?
Yeah,
Mine
sure
is
that's enough
garlic.
Yes. Okay, that's not enough for you.
Oh yeah, more garlic. Garlic
Some
is like 10
ginger.
others.
And spring onions, or what you call scallions. Mix that together, and just let that cook a little bit. And that gives it a lot of flavor. All the aromatics have to cook out first, otherwise it tastes really harsh. Now, here's some rice wine. Have you ever had some of this? This is great for cooking.
yeah.
I'll wash out my thing.
You know, this stuff can make you blind.
So what we're going to do is some light and dark soy sauce. You can hand me the dark one. We can just put some in. You notice I use both kinds of soy sauce, which is
Equal
important.
amounts then?
Well, you know,
Or just to taste?
you probably cook like me. A little
Yeah,
bit of
a
this,
little
a
this,
little bit
a
of
little
that, right?
Put some more garlic in there.
Yes, garlic. No, I'm going to give you a lot of garlic in the next dish.
Oh, good, 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 good.
And just let that cook over high heat. And I'm going to add a little bit of sugar.
Okay. Oh, sweeten things up. Huh?
Yes. No, well, you know what sugar does? It balances, you know, all that sort of salty flavor. Yes, harmonizes it. And what you want to do is cook that over high heat until it's done. Now, okay, that's very good. Let's cover that and just let that cook. Okay, fellas. Oh, it's perfectly done.
Looks great.
It looks
Oh,
good,
yeah.
if you even do say so myself. And when we're done, what we want to do is finish it off with a little bit of sesame oil. Sesame oil is used as a flavoring ingredient, not as a cooking ingredient.
It gives it a nice aromatic smell, too.
That's right. If you could hand me that plate, Charles. It's a fish plate for a fish dish. Don't you think that's
Oh, yeah.
that's cool,
Yeah,
huh?
just for the halibut.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Look at that. Okay, that's fantastic.
That's stir-fried fish with black bean sauce. And now we're going to make spinach with fried garlic.
Just wash this out like this. That's really easy. That's what you need to do with the wok. Or
Here, do you need a
what we could do is just put a little bit of water in here and just clean it. And actually, I think I'll dump it right there.
Oh, no.
It's okay. It's organic. You said you like garlic,
yes.
right? And I'm going to fry that by adding a little bit of oil, not too much oil, and just adding all that sliced garlic in here. Okay, and that's going to cook. Now, Charles, I'm going to put you to work. You can garnish this fish with these spring onion tops, right, all over. Oh, God, you're a natural here.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's let this cook a little bit. And you want to cook this until it browns, because it's really important to let the garlic brown. Also, you know, garlic is nicer when it's cooked through. And in fact, the more it cooks, the sweeter it gets. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Okay, and unfortunately I have to put Charles to work again.
No.
We have some spinach over here.
Oh, come on, hand it over, Papa.
Okay, how about chucking not all of it in here, just put a little bit of that in there. But it's going to cook down, so, you know, when you're cooking in the wok, never panic. Okay, I think that's enough for that. Okay, that's terrific. You guys like spinach?
Oh, yeah.
Always makes me think of the Popeye food, right? But it was
I am
never,
what I am.
Yeah, but he's never had spinach like the way we're going to make it. Okay, and I'm just going to add just a pinch of sugar to balance the iron that's
Again,
in,
yeah.
yes, in the spinach. Couple of minutes, look at that. Oh,
right,
nice
ready.
and bubbly,
Cooked
perfectly
down.
cooked, not overcooked to death. And we'll put that right in that scallop dish right here.
Oh, ready?
And hey, lunch is served. Okay, let's see what the verdict is.
The verdict is it's not going to last long.
The halibut's good.
And it's something you can make yourself.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Even I could do this.
Spinach with fried garlic goes very well with rice and the stir-fried fish with black bean sauce.
But you know, stir-frying fish is quite different from stir-frying meat. And I want to show you why. Because when you stir-fry fish, it's very delicate. But with meat, it's quite different. You know, meat is a different type of food, and it's denser. So what we do is we're going to prepare this lovely meat dish, which I call stir-fried beef with peppers and fragrant lemongrass. And you want to start off by sort of trimming the meat. And I'm using a lean beef fillet here. And I want to trim off any fat whatsoever. And this makes it obviously a lot healthier. The Asian way of eating beef is we eat it in very small amounts. And what we do is we take the beef, we trim it, and we cut it into small sections. And this is what they look like. The meat, you want to marinate it in a little bit of light soy sauce, rice wine, or you can use dry sherry, and a little bit of sesame oil. Mix that really well and just finish that off with a little bit of corn flour. Now, this marinade is very nice because it absorbs into the meat quickly, and it's a marinade you can use instantly. In other words, I can stir fry it right now or wait if I wanted to, but no more than 20 minutes. Because what happens is if the marinade stays in too long, it will get very salty. Now, just put that aside for a minute and show you some of the other ingredients I'm going to use for this dish. These are shallots, and instead of finely chopping them, I will actually slice them, as I'm doing here. we slice aromatic vegetables like this. A shallot that is sliced is really tasty versus a shallot that is finely chopped. And garlic is the same way. Garlic, for instance, if you finely chop it, it's very, very strong. If you slice it, it's not as strong, but it almost acts like a vegetable. And I'm also adding a little bit of chopped ginger to that. So you want to put all this on one plate. And I want to show you another ingredient that I'm going to use. It's called lemongrass. You want to trim this and then smash it like that with the cleaver. Now we're ready to cook. Now, unlike stir frying with the fish, what I'm doing here is I'm heating it until it's extremely hot. And how hot should it be? Well, you can just feel the heat. It's been on this hob for maybe about 10 minutes or so. And if you have a good wok, you don't have to worry about that. Just get it really, really hot. Then add the oil. And as you can see, I'm adding here almost 3 tablespoons of oil. You need a lot of oil when you're cooking meat because you want the meat to be seared, and that's very important. If it's not seared, what will happen is all the oil will seep into the food. Now, I want to get this very hot, swirl this all around. Can you see it smoking like this? This is the way it should be. Don't be alarmed when it smokes like that, because that tells me that the oil is hot enough. You want to lift up the meat. Now, can you hear that sizzle? That's really important, because that sizzle tells me that everything is hot enough and everything will brown. If it doesn't sizzle like that, the meat will start stewing. And then, of course, you will get tough and stringy meat, and the meat won't be tender. You can see how nice and brown that is, and that's what you want. You don't need to move it around too much, because if you move it around a lot, it will start cooling down, and you don't want that. You just want it to just give it some time to sear. Now, as you can see, the meat is starting to brown now, and it just takes a matter of seconds for that to happen. At this point, I'm just going to take the meat and the oil and drain it in a colander. That's very little oil that's left in here. Add my shallots, garlic, and ginger. Stir fry that over very high heat. And you can smell that. It just smells absolutely fantastic. It's the combination of the shallots and the garlic and the ginger is just so aromatic, and it just really makes my mouth water. Now, add the peppers. Just add all that in at once. Lemongrass. Now that smells very, very good. As you will remember, I have very little oil left in the wok. Now, what is the reaction of most people when they see that? The tendency is they start to add more oil. Well, that's a big mistake. Don't add more oil. What you do is, as things start to get brown here, I simply add a little bit of rice wine. You can add water. You can add any type of liquid, but don't add any more oil. Add a bit of light soy sauce to flavor that mixture. Some sesame oil. A little bit of pepper, which is very nice, and a little bit of salt. Now, with salt, you can add more or less. That depends on your own taste. Remember, a lot of this cooking in the wok is sort of up to you. And just a pinch of sugar to just give it a nice fine balance. We're going to let that cook until the vegetables are done. And again, how can we tell if the vegetables are done? Very simply, you take a sharp knife and you poke it into the vegetable like this. If it goes in very easily, you know that it's done. And return the meat back to the wok and just give that a very nice stir. And what we're doing is we're not really cooking the meat anymore, we're just actually warming it up. And you see that literally took a matter of minutes to combine. And the little corn flour that was on the meat will help to slightly thicken the sauce. That's really delicious. I love my own cooking. Okay, that is done. And what a magnificent dish. This stir-fried beef with peppers and fragrant lemongrass. The Queen's Medical Centre in Nottingham is the largest teaching hospital in Europe. I went there to meet a group of nurses who often find it hard to balance their eating habits with their lifestyle.
I mean, we work night shifts sometimes, that can be a problem. So if I'm at work, I'll usually bring something that's quite light. Heavy food tends to make you a bit sluggish, so it's usually light foods that I'll bring. And if I'm working at night, spicy foods usually, to pep up the appetite a bit.
Now you tell me that you use the wok at home, right?
That's right.
Do you cook in the wok all the time?
Cook lots of things in a wok, yeah. Not just Chinese things. Casserole type dishes I'll often cook in a wok. Or stews, things of that nature.
Now, I've heated up the wok. Do you do it this way? You heat up the wok until it's very hot.
Yeah.
Then
So
add
it's
the
smoking,
oil.
yeah.
Right. You've got it. You've got it down. Adding some chopped onions, and it's very, very interesting. If you could put that back for me.
Okay.
You know how I came across this recipe. You know, I was starving at home, and I really had nothing except one cucumber and one ear of corn left.
It's a familiar situation.
I think it's very interesting that people like yourself who care for people, sometimes, from what I hear is that they don't really watch out for themselves. You know,
We can be a bit naughty at times.
Not naughty, maybe because you're so busy. I think it's very difficult sometimes to also think about yourself.
Yeah.
Now, I'm adding a little bit of rice after this. Now, this is a fried rice recipe, and many people ask me about fried rice because they ask me how, rice is, how you actually do fried rice. I mean, why does it stick? And it's because they don't let it cool down enough. And the best way to cook fried rice is actually to cook the rice in advance and then to let it cool and put it in the fridge. And then it should be nice and cold.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you to help me a little. Now, there's some beaten eggs in there.
Yeah.
If you could put in some sesame oil, you can beat it with a fork, and a little bit of salt, sure. The nice thing about this thing is that also it flavors the egg.
Yeah.
And that's very nice. Now, what we're going to do, good.
Okay.
Right in the middle, all over. And what we want to do is, you see, I'm putting the egg all over the rice like this, and moving it so that it dries out, which is very important. Okay, that is cooking very, very nicely. And I'm going to ask you to give me some of the corn.
Okay. You want a whole lot
Yes,
of them?
you can just, well, this is the way you cook, right? You just bung it in. Yeah, just bung it straight in like that.
Okay.
And a little bit of...
Cucumber?
Yeah, cucumber.
Okay.
Let's try it. Yeah, just put it here like that. Okay, and just put that all in. Okay. And what's really nice about the vegetables is it adds a little bit of crunch. And I think that's the thing about vegetarian dishes. Often they're very boring because they don't have enough flavor.
That's right.
And they don't have enough texture. And that's really, I think, quite important. What sort of things do you do when you sort of make...
What, for stir fry?
Yes.
Well, I tend to slice the vegetables very thinly.
Yes.
If they're a hard vegetable like a carrots, things of that nature. I usually use a lot more vegetables, peppers and broccoli and things like that. It's not often I would cook something just with two simple flavors.
I see.
Or two simple ingredients. So it'd be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yes. Okay, now, I think you told me you like spicy things, so
That's
I'm
right.
going to add a little bit of chili oil to this. And there's some chili oil. And I think we'll use a fork so we don't... because
Don't want to add too much.
No, I think some of your colleagues probably might consider it a little bit too hot.
That's right.
Okay. You just... Actually, shall we make it spicy for them and not tell them?
It's surprising.
Well, it's very nice to see that eating well is something not complicated, and it's really quick and easy. I think that's what we're trying to show everyone.
Well, it's quite important if you work in shifts. Not much time. It's important, obviously, that it doesn't take up too much of your spare time.
Yes, and actually, to prepare this dish, actually it takes literally, as you can see, minutes.
Minutes, yeah.
Okay, we're just going to taste that. I think that's all right. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this is a little bit spicier. And you can hold that for me.
Okay.
And here we are. You see how that looks.
Yeah.
Really lovely rice dish.
It's quite a nice aroma coming off there, like
Yeah.
nutty aroma.
You know what that's coming from?
Is
the
that from
sesame
the,
oil.
from the oil, yeah?
Yes, the sesame oil. And that's used as a flavoring device. And it's very clever because what happens is you get all different kinds of flavors. Okay. Shall we invite your colleagues to come in and
Bring them in.
have a taste? They look very hungry.
They probably are.
They've been waiting at the door.
That's right.
Do you all have your forks? Okay, they're already armed and ready. Okay, well, give you a taste here. Okay, it's hot, so.
Very nice.
Egg fried rice is wonderful on its own, or served with grilled chicken or pork. If you get a carbon steel wok, you need to season it, and this is how you do it. What you do is you wash it out with cleanser or detergent and scrub it very well, the inside. You want to remove all the coating or label. Wash it out very well, then rinse it. And then put it on the heat. Make sure it dries very well, then put oil in it. You can use any type of oil except olive oil to season the wok with. Now, what you want to do is get it very hot, add a little bit of oil, as I'm doing here, and what you want to do is take a clean kitchen paper and rub it all on the wok surface. Okay, the brown bits are the oil, and the black bit is the coating, which you want to get off. And just giving it a nice wipe. And it's clean, which means I don't have any dark bits anymore. These brown bits are just the oil. That's fine. As you see, the wok is starting to get darker and darker. And you know, the blacker the wok, the better the cook. My guest this week is June Whitfield, star of Terry and June, absolutely fabulous, and dozens of other comedies in a showbiz career which spans over 50 years.
Pantomime, you know, which is 2 shows a day, of course, and you think, well, I can't eat lunch before a matinee thing, and I can't eat, I don't like to eat heavily before a show, so it's really a brunch.
Well, June, tell me what are your favorite foods?
I'm very fond of fish. I do like fish. I like shellfish, and I love Dover sole.
I do too.
Fresh, straight out of the water.
June, I'm making for you a spicy fish curry since you really love fish. So what we start out with is a bit of water, and if you could hand me the fish, please.
Yeah.
Yes, this is halibut, which has been coated with a little bit of egg white, some corn flour, salt, and pepper, and we just put that in the water like that.
And why do you coat it?
You coat it just to protect it. You know, fish is quite delicate, as you know, and the thing is, you don't want to overcook it. Nothing's worse, as you know, than overcooked fish. So it's a very gentle way of cooking it and keeping it nice and white at the same time. And the thing is, traditionally, we've done this with oil, but this is we also do things with water, and of course, water is such a healthier way of eating it, and it's just as good, actually. It's just oily.
I see. Well, you could put it straight in the oil.
Yes, you could,
really, yes.
in warm oil, and do the same thing, but you find that water is really nice.
Yeah?
Now, what I'm going to do here is drain it. Okay. As you can see, the fish has turned nice and white.
Yes.
Okay. And just simply put the wok back on the heat. Okay, get it very hot.
How do you know when it's hot enough? I mean, I'd be worried about burning it.
It starts smoking a little bit,
Yes, I see
like
that.
that.
Yes.
And then that's when you add a little bit of oil to
Right.
that, you see? And don't be afraid of it. The thing is, the beautiful thing about the wok is that once you heat it up, it gets very, very hot. That's when it's perfect time to cook, and that's when you don't need so much oil.
And you shouldn't cook before it's
Exactly,
very hot.
exactly.
I see.
Otherwise, things will stick to the wok.
Yes, I think I've had
Okay,
that
let's-
trouble in the past.
We add the onions,
Yeah.
some onions.
and just cook them.
Lovely.
Lovely. They get really
Yeah.
nice and brown and wonderful. Some garlic, which is lovely.
Oh, that's quite a lot of garlic.
Oh, yes. Do you like
Yeah.
garlic?
Oh, I love it,
Okay,
yes.
garlic
Yeah.
is good for you, so
Yeah.
I'll add more. A little bit of ginger.
Now, ginger, that's from the root, is it?
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
Which I see you've got one here now.
Yes.
But how do you peel it? Is
Well,
it rather
it's
difficult?
very thin skin, and what you simply do is with like a vegetable peeler,
Yes,
you just
yes.
simply peel it,
Oh.
and you chop it up. And the thing is, if you took this piece and put it in your garden, it would start growing.
Just like that?
Yes, it actually is a beautiful plant.
Right.
So what we want to do is
My
cook
goodness.
that over a very, very high heat. You see how quickly
Yeah, yes,
that
it
cooks?
does,
And as you
yeah.
can see, I'm not adding any more oil to this.
Right.
See, that's very terribly important. Okay, at this point, I'm
What would you like
adding
now?
a little bit of
Oh, I think
soy
I'll let you do
sauce.
that one. It's
Right,
runny.
I'll do that. It's all right.
Yeah.
Just some light soy sauce. This is a sort of a Singaporean inspired curry.
It's lovely.
Which is
And
wonderful.
and
with
that's the
yeah, that's a
paste.
little bit of Madras curry paste. If
Yes.
you like it spicy, how spicy do you like it?
Ooh, reasonably.
Reasonably, okay.
We've
I'll-
got water,
okay.
haven't we? I think.
And a little bit of sugar.
Sugar.
Because anytime you're cooking like this, it's important to put a little bit of sugar to give it a balance.
I see.
And then we finish that off with some coconut milk. And coconut milk is wonderful because you can buy this actually in a tin.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And look at how lovely that looks.
Wonderful.
It looks like cream, but of course it isn't.
No,
Because it's made,
no.
it's made from...
How is it for calories?
Well, not too bad.
Pretty hefty.
But you don't eat a lot of, you don't use a lot of it. And since
Yeah.
we've cooked in water, there's very little oil in here, see? And what you do is, look how beautiful that looks.
Yes.
You let that come to a simmer. And what we're going to do is, do you mind if I taste like a cook does?
No, dear, do.
Okay.
It's your finger you're burning.
Okay, I think...
Why did I do that?
Huh? Oh,
Good idea.
in and out, in and out. In and out. See? It wasn't so bad.
Very good.
Now what we're going to do is just add some salt and pepper to this. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, if you hold that for me, thank you. Okay. And then what we're going to do is pour the fish back in here.
Right.
Yeah, that's very easy, thank you.
Oops.
Okay, right there. Wow.
John?
Yes, look how beautiful that looks. And since the fish has been partially cooked, this last cooking will just
Oh, that's lovely.
will make it very succulent and wonderful. Now, I think we finish that off with bits of spring
Oh,
onions. You want to toss
yes.
them in there?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. You see how easy it is?
It's the prettiness.
With
It's
some-
lovely.
And let's sit down and enjoy this together.
Oh, can't wait. Thank you, Ken. I'm trying to remember how to do it, that's the thing. That looks really very appetizing,
Well-
Ken, and smells delicious.
Well, June, I want to give you a piece because in Chinese tradition, this is a sign of respect and love.
What a lovely idea. Thank you. Rather good.
I'm glad
10
you
out
like
of
it.
10. Excellent.
Thank you.
Lovely.
And you helped.
Oh, well.
Here's to you.
I did my best.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good health.
Thank you, Ken.
More recipes from Ken Hom at 8 o'clock next Wednesday on BBC2.